Hello, America. It's Eric Erickson. These are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon, October 7th, 2025. First up, the president is now threatening to withhold back pay of furloughed federal workers. The Office of Management and Budget has changed guidance on how furloughed workers are paid, claiming that workers who are on the job will get paid, but workers who have chosen not to show up for work will not get paid. Now, there is a federal law passed in the 2019 shutdown that guarantees federal workers their pay. What the Trump administration has chosen to do is interpret the law different from the prior administration, and that is that workers who actually show up and do their work are going to be paid, but workers who take the day off because they're furloughed, they're not going to be paid. Democrats are crying foul, arguing that those workers deserve pay. What the White House says is, well, you can fight them in court, and if so, it could take a while to deal with. In fact, federal workers this coming Friday will get paid, and workers as of today are stopping showing up for work. FAA workers in Burbank, California, for example, did not show up for work today, rendering delays for passengers and pilots and planes coming in and out of the LA area because they weren't on the job. The argument from some of the workers was, as of today, they're not getting paid when the paychecks are produced on Friday. Next week, the military, they should get paid, and they're not going to get paid either. John Thune is hoping the pressure of federal employees on Democrats might get them to reconsider what they are doing. The president suggesting not paying furloughed workers who don't show up for work is another way to build pressure. Democrats will challenge it, and frankly, the reading of the law makes clear that the workers should get paid, but there'll have to be a lengthy court fight over it. Gold has hit $4,000 a troy ounce, which is significant. It's never been this high. There are a couple of things that appear to be happening. One is some discomfort with the American economy and the government shutdown as gold was already going up. Another is other countries in the world are ditching the dollar for gold as a reserve currency in a way to transfer money between different currencies. Gold hitting $4,000 on a troy ounce is actually a significant sign of a lack of trust in the American economy. But also, you need to understand that other countries have not gone all in with China on making the Chinese currency a new reserve currency to compete with the dollar. What they're doing is using gold. Gold is easily transferable and converted in the same way the dollar is, and the purchases of gold reserves instead of dollar reserves are what are contributing to driving up the cost of gold right now. The Supreme Court is very skeptical today of bans on conversion therapy. Even the progressive justices like Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson were deeply skeptical of a Colorado law that would prohibit therapists from engaging in conversion therapy. That is, trying to convince kids who may claim to be transgender that they're not, or that they're heterosexual instead of homosexual. The Supreme Court believes this is a matter of the First Amendment. And all of the justices, after the oral argument today, surprising a number of progressives, seem ready to throw out the Colorado law. If it actually is a 9-0 decision, that will be surprising. But given Sonia Sotomayor's deep skepticism of the law in Colorado, that's kind of a big red flag for progressives. They're going to lose this fight. Lastly, Republicans are pouring millions of dollars into Virginia now. They had largely given up on Winsome Sears. Outside Republicans who look in on Virginia say, oh, it's a great race. She's an impressive candidate. Inside Virginia, the Republicans say she's run a terrible campaign, has misstated regions of the state to locals in those regions, and just hasn't been very aggressive, struggling to find traction. In the last several weeks, Abigail Spanberger's made missteps on the transgender issue, and now the Jay Jones situation has cropped up. Outside groups suddenly emboldened in Virginia, where Republicans are outpacing Democrats in early voting, though probably not by enough. Virginia has not split their ticket since 2005. Typically, all statewide offices now go one way or the other. In this particular case, though, Republicans are kind of emboldened by Jason Mayeri's campaign against Jay Jones. Jay Jones himself dragging down the Democrats. Internal polling showing Republicans are suddenly even more mobilized than they were, and Democrats not so enthusiastic anymore. Typically, Virginia goes the opposite direction of the White House. Democrats have been expecting a very good year. Now they're more cautious. What's notable is not a single Democrat has come out now to condemn Jay Jones and tell him to stay out of the race. In fact, Mark Warner, who in the past said that George Allen saying Macaca was disqualifying, is refusing to say Jay Jones's text messages are disqualifying. The Democrats are in this to win. They don't care about principle. They just like to lecture Republicans on principle. These are the 4 things you need to know this afternoon. I'm Eric Erickson. Please stay grounded, stay informed, stay engaged, and please keep the faith.